Hey, Dale.
Hey Jamie, thanks for stepping up today, buddy. How are you?
Anytime.
Euro trying to bounce here. First time I've had a little bit of short-term momentum divergence. The 1 hour wasn't ideal. It was still under 30, but a higher momentum reading at the low that we had this morning. I just think that, I keep thinking about this. No one's talking about buying the euro. Everyone's just talking about downside targets and where to sell it if it rallies. Do you think we're set up for some type of surprise? And what could Draghi possibly say that would generate a rally in euro USD?
Yeah, I honestly nothing. We were talking about this yesterday. I don't think there's really much he could say that could spark a rally. I think wait and see is the default position. Putting aside the geopolitical stuff, I think they would want to see how these TLTROs work out, and they don't come to market with those until the middle of September. So they're not going to have really any sense until the October meeting. What sort of liquidity is going to be injected into the markets until then. So I think they'd very much like to see at least the first one in September, and there's a second one in December. The geopolitical situation may give them a little cover if they really feel that they're behind the curve. I think they could use the geopolitical cloak as a way to push the hawks into accepting QE a little bit faster than they otherwise would have.
Okay, so the only thing I could think of that would spark a rally out of Draghi, which is counter to what he wants to accomplish, would be his statement or during the press conference sounding weak or same as it ever was, and the market thinking that they're not doing enough. Could that be it?
Yeah, the thing that I think is going to do it, if anything, is going to be positioning, and I thought we were seeing that on Monday.
Yeah.
I thought we were a little bit stretched, and we had sort of the underwhelming payrolls, and if we didn't bounce then, when are we going to bounce? So now I'm back into sort of complacency.
So is it a no trade for you right now, Jamie? It's not a buy. It's not a sell.
It's not super compelling right here.
Is anything?
We're relatively close to our targets. We've been talking about this 132.95, 133 area.
Yeah.
For a couple of weeks, and we're got within shouting distance this morning. To me, it's not a screaming sale. I don't see any reason to buy it, and I guess that, as you were saying early in the week, it's still, you look to fade the rallies to 135 if you get them. And, I guess that's the way to play.
Anything look compelling? Anything look compelling to you across your screen?
Not super compelling. Dollar yen is looking a little bit worrisome to me now. It looks as though if we can get below 102.25, we may have some downside here. The one thing to keep in mind is these U.S. yields. I mean, between 240 and 245 in the 10-year, we've bottomed there, I don't know, multiple times going back to July of last year. And we're right back in that area. And I think if we break below that, that might be the one thing that shakes up complacent dollar longs. If you see U.S. yields, fall to 2.25 or something like that, when every man and his dog by this point would have expected us to be closer to 3% or above, I think that may shake out some of the more complacent dollar longs. But without that, no, I don't really see anything all that compelling.
Okay, and how do you think? First of all, do you think that this is another bluff by Putin? And if it isn't, what do you think the impact will be on the markets?
Boy, trying to figure Putin is that's not my strong suit. I would have expected him to talk tough and not really do very much. Instead, he seems to be doing more and talking less, which worries me more than anything. Chuck Hagel, the defense secretary, is in Germany today, and he sees a very real possibility of a Russian move into Ukraine. We did see a pretty significant sell-off in stocks yesterday afternoon as concerns grew on that front. Europe to me just seems to be, they go so slow in their response. I mean, they never get out in front of this and really, it's like training a puppy. You take a newspaper, you whack them over the nose every once in a while, and they learn the lesson. But these guys, they haven't even rolled up the paper yet, so it's really hard to see Putin backing
Yeah,
off.
has Merkel become this modern era's Lord Chamberlain?
She's been silent. She's been absolutely silent. I mean, it's funny. You read the headlines over the last week. Forget the plane crash. The plane being shot down. That seems to that's vanished. It's very surprising to me. I never would have expected such a measured reaction from Europe. I would have thought that the downing of that plane would have crystallized, a much more forceful response to Russia, and it's been incremental at best. And I guess it's starting to, the fact that Russia is starting to push back with some sanctions of their own, forcing them to divert planes around Siberia, things like that. We're getting a little bit of tit for tat, but it's like the white Bronco chase.
Right.
It is so slow unfolding, and is it going to end in a blaze of glory, or is it just going to be I don't know. I don't know. It definitely seems to be it's unfolding much more slowly than I would have expected. I mean, we're 6 months into this thing now. To me, it's just things change so rapidly in the world these days. To see a crisis like this unfold so slowly, it's kind of unusual. I think that's why markets get so complacent. They're used to things. They're used to a beginning, middle, and end in a matter of days or weeks. Not used to a crisis extending over a 6 month time frame. Then we don't know how to deal with it.
Best idea going into tomorrow, Jamie. What would it be?
Best idea into tomorrow. I kind of like Kiwi for a trade. We went down and we tested a long term trend line.
Okay.
This morning and it bounced. So I kind of like buying that on dips. I think if we can get back above, kind of the 84, 70, 80 area, I think we might have a little bit of a short covering pop. But it's not all that compelling out there right now, Dale. I don't have any screaming trades.
Well, that's a nice contrarian call. So we'll wrap it with that, and thanks a lot, Jamie.
Okay.
See you tomorrow, buddy.
Talk to you tomorrow. Bye bye.